Yeah.
It's gonna be Thunderdome up in here.
Freedom of speech.
What's that?
Yeah, I know. For however much longer we got it.
We don't have it.
Nah. But you know,
See, let's talk about that. Let's talk
let's-
about this fantasy that democracy is still in existence. It's gone. It's been gone.
well, and then the other thing is, depending on who you're talking about democracy for, because for some folks, like black folks, we've always lived under fascism in the sense of if fascism is the overregulation of everything, what was that? You know, there were laws against black people walking on the sidewalk with, if
Those weren't laws.
they were laws. Those used to be laws.
I don't think they were laws. I think they were just practices.
No. There were times in this country that those were laws. It was called deferring to your betters, and there was a law where you had to step off the sidewalk if white folks were coming toward you. And even if the things that there were laws, but also, like you said, there were codified, enforced ways of behaving, but it's still fascist. If you can be murdered by a cop because you looked at him, I've heard these stories where this brother got lynched because he didn't call the officer by his first name or something. He didn't
call him sir
or something like that, and he got murdered and nothing happened. So I mean, we've always lived under fascism in that respect.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about when or the fact that again maybe this wasn't a law, but it was an enforced method of behavior when black people couldn't grow their in a professional quote unquote office, you couldn't grow your hair out naturally. That was considered unprofessional, right? That was
It still is.
yeah.
I mean, even though they created this new law, I can't think of the name of it. But yeah, it still is. It still is. Do you want us to say, hey, welcome to Napsolute Truth? Have we started?
We
started.
started.
Okay.
We could do that later.
Okay.
Can we?
We can.
Yeah.
Okay. Take two. You need to give a nigga a heads up, like, hey, we've started.
Nah, we just always here's the thing.
Assume that we're
rolling.
always
Yeah,
rolling.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
So-
thanks for the snacks, by the way.
You're welcome. I'll get you the bill.
All right.
How are you?
Oh, fine and dandy.
How was your 4th of July?
Uh,
Your Crispus Attucks Day?
I just stayed in the crib. I kind of missed the fact there wasn't as many fireworks as there's been in the past. I miss stuff blowing up.
I really love fireworks. I love fireworks like magic, like I love magic. But
Uh-huh.
if you don't do it yourself, or it's weird. It used to be like I don't want to go to the ones in the city
Mhm.
because, a certain sector might act up, and
Mhm.
I don't want to go to ones out in the suburbs because a certain sector might act up.
Right.
So, I mean, sometimes my husband goes and gets fireworks.
He does?
And we just shoot
From
them off near
Indiana?
the house.
I was just talking. It's so funny how you can get anything in Indiana because they don't give an F. You
At
can get
all.
cigarettes, fireworks. You can gamble. You can get anything but an abortion. In Indiana, that's the only thing they don't play.
Because they literally do not want to blow up the spot.
Right. right. We insist that you be born, but once you're born,
We'll find all kinds of ways to kill
we'll
you.
sell you cigarettes. Right. We'll sell you M80s. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, so we just do it like near our house. I mean, I hate it because, he loves it. It makes me
Really?
nervous.
Me too, man.
I had a bad experience with fireworks, and it was just like, not when people themselves do it.
Mhm.
The kids were little, and we were at a family friend's house,
Mhm.
and they were lighting fireworks. And I was like,
The kids?
my kids were little. Yeah.
I'm
So,
talking-
no, the adults.
Oh, okay.
The adults were lighting the fireworks. And I was like, shouldn't that be in the street? Should it be so close to the house?
Where were
And they were like, oh, woman, shut up. It was, outside in the backyard or something like that.
Ugh.
Man, they set it up on the grass. And so, these things, they have these cones. Lord, the cone tipped over.
Oh boy.
And
The
they
one with
lit
the
it.
tube?
The
No.
tube.
The Roman candles.
Yes, and so they lit it, and before it went off, it tipped over
Toward the folks?
toward the folks, and it was like shoo, shoo. And my oldest son said, all I remember is this blur of mommy like swooping in and
wow.
grabbing. You know how Neo grabbed his
in the Matrix?
girlfriend?
Yeah.
And I like swooped in, grabbed my kids, and ran them back into the house.
Wow.
It was just crazy. And ever since then, I was like, I just don't like it at all.
I don't like fireworks, man. I mean, like I said, the spectacle of it, but just and they're in Chicago, well, everywhere, but Chicago, like people pay like hundreds and thousands of dollars and light all that
Oh
stuff off.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
man.
You
But
up until 3 o'clock in the morning.
yeah, but
And then there's the guns.
right. Well, I think and the guns on 4th of July, but generally New Year's, right?
Right.
It used to be, I thought it was like people would get out there. They weren't really celebrating New Year's. They were just letting everybody in the neighborhood know, in case you think about robbing this crib, I got something for you. Pulling out bazookas and machine
I
guns.
don't think so.
Yeah. No, I don't. I don't know, man. It's interesting. When you're a kid, for me, it's like fireworks were exciting. Now it's like, all
I
right,
love them.
yeah.
I think it's fascinating that you can like program something or organize something to write in the sky. Sometimes they write in words or in pictures or whatever. But then,
Mhm.
I really try to hold on to my childlike wonder.
Mhm.
I think it's really important
That is important.
because so many people, just like the lady, I said she's cussing this girl out. This lady was cussing out another girl, Krishan.
Which let me say this, as you tell me this story, Tammy, I'm just thinking about as we've known each other,
Uh.
it just dawned on me. I think you're a big aficionado of people getting cussed out. I think you're a connoisseur of people getting cussed out. Because yeah, you tell me
I
a
don't
lot
know
of
what
cuss
you
out
mean.
stuff.
I am filled with surprise by your statement.
Yeah.
My father, oh God, bless his heart. We love you, Art McCann. My father
Mhm.
uh was a Marine.
As was mine.
Really? Semper Fi. I did
Oh
not know
yeah,
that.
yeah,
And a police officer, Chicago police officer. We'll have to talk. Well, there'll be another show about being black and blue, and
yeah. That's a good one. Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
intricacies of that.
yeah.
Um,
Because that's a whole different perspective.
it's a whole different perspective that has evolved though over the
Mhm.
years. So I
Mhm.
think that'll be a good show, which we might circle back to.
Yeah.
Um,
Some
but
some black folks just became cops. It wasn't even, how some of these back in the day, I don't want to speak for all white people, but a lot of them is just that they're invested in what law and order and the community and all. And a lot of black folks just, I know a brother who was my cousin-in-law who was a cop. I said, hey man, would you always wanted to right wrongs? Yeah, nigga, I needed a job. That was it. you know.
That's a hell of a job to have a bullseye on your chest all
Yeah,
day,
yeah.
But the way that my father lived his life was very what way to describe it? Like John Wayne. I mean, he was just Superman,
Mhm.
and part of his characteristics was this colorful way of speaking that included profanity. And it's really familial, is that a word?
Yeah.
Familial thing from my father
Mhm.
on my father's side, and then on my mother's side, my uncles.
Okay.
So my uncle's from Mississippi, and
Mm.
then my father up here in Chicago. And baby,
And that matriculated down to you.
I don't. Well, I do what I can.
I do what I can when I'm cussing a fool out.
No, that's interesting that you say that because it's less likely that I will cuss at you,
Mm.
more that I will cuss about you.
Yes, that's true.
I was on the way here
Yes.
and I saw that they had closed down Lakeshore Drive and I called my husband like, "Are you kidding me? Like, what is the city trying to do? Is the city just trying to kill us?" And I'm like, la da 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 la da 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 la da da. And you know how men are.
Yeah.
Men are like, well, perhaps if you do this, perhaps if you do this. I'm like, I don't want you to solve it. I just want you to listen to me vent and talk shit. That's what I want you to do.
Right.
And he's like, "Oh, okay. Anymore. And I'm like, blah, 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 blah. And why do they have this sense of like, just why don't we just close every street everywhere?
Yeah.
So they close down Lakeshore Drive and then they break South Shore Drive down to 2 lanes. And then they start construction on the Kennedy. What is that? The Jane Byrne thing?
I think so. I don't know.
And so I'm just like, who?
Right, they narrowed that down to 2 lanes.
Yes. I'm like, who is in charge of planning and roads and construction? I'm like, it's like they got, what do you call that thing? It's like they let AI run the city and it's just AI's like, this will be a good time to close this off. This will be a good time.
I think once AI starts running things, it's over. I think that's where it's headed anyway. But okay, when you mentioned that, when you said, what you were telling your husband, blah 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 blah, blah, I think you're denying the audience. Some truly choice.
See, you are so full of bulcaca.
Yeah.
That's Italian.
Yeah.
For bullshit.
Yeah.
You are so full of bulcaca. Now here's somebody that in their show, maybe do you cuss? Like rarely curse.
I curse more on stage than I do like in life. You know what I mean? And I think some of that is
true. Like I've known you for 100 years and you rarely curse. And you rarely curse on stage.
Yeah, but I do it a little more. I enjoy it. You know what I mean? I think it's because I was conditioned by Richard Pryor. Do you know what I mean? And I don't do it like he does. And here's what I don't do. Like I curse on stage. Like I said, it's not continuous or constant. It's not a barrage. But like there's certain,
it's not your show. It's not your personality.
No, but it's I do it for emphasis or punctuation. Yes. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's not just gratuitous. Some whatever. And we don't get in the comment. People do however they do it, but some people it's like
what they do what now?
This bitch hoe ass trick bitch. Dicks and hoes and bitches.
Gracious.
And anyway,
no.
I can't be beefing on the internet. Anyway, like I told this whole bitch ass trick, motherfucking dick ass bitches see tricks and hoes. See.
No, my favorite is I call you a bitch because I call you bitches because I don't know your names individually.
Who said that?
It was was it Dolomite? No. It was Dynamite. What's his name?
Oh, it is Dolomite.
No, Dynamite.
Oh, you talking about Willie Dynamite, the pimp.
No, it's another guy. No, it's this other guy. He's an actor. White is his last name. And he does this show.
Slappy White?
You know what?
Very white? Alt white? Alty white?
Oh, Lord.
You know Willie Dynamite, though. You seen Willie Dynamite?
Is it?
He was in that expert that I don't know if the movie was called Willie Dynamite.
It's not Willie, but it is Dynamite, and it's a modern
he's
day.
A pimp.
Yeah, but no,
this is
he's
in the 70s.
He's a shaft guy. No, this guy is like a shaft guy, and he does martial arts.
Oh, Michael Jai White.
Michael J. White.
Michael
That's
Jai
it.
White.
Michael Jai White.
Yeah.
Oh my
what
God.
Is this?
What is the name of the show? Black Dynamite.
Black Dynamite.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't do nothing today, go get you some of that Black Dynamite. I tell you, this is the funniest shit, man.
Oh,
he was like, simmer down. He was like, somebody walked into the room, like a woman walked into the room and he was laying in bed with these, like, I guess it was 3 women. I'd never seen a bed so big. And there's like 3 different women in him. And this woman comes in and she's like, Black Dynamite, what are you doing? Blah, blah. He's like, relax, baby. You'll wake the bitches. I was like,
it's ridiculous.
was like, this is terrible. Why am I laughing?
Oh yeah.
Because it's funny.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's one of the things that I really wanted to be the cornerstone of the show. Like, if it's funny, it's funny. I
Yeah.
don't want us to get caught up in, being canceled and, you can't say what you want to say or how you feel. I mean, if you're not like being disrespectful, or like hurting somebody's feelings, you
Yeah.
really should be able to express yourself and your opinions,
Mhm.
and what you think is funny. Everybody doesn't think the same thing is funny.
But that's
Do you
that
have that in your shows where it's like, I've seen that a lot online where people will like start heckling to the point of having conversation with
mhm.
the comedian. Does that happen to you
Yeah, I
often?
mean, it doesn't happen to me often, but it's happened. Particularly, again, I think we've talked about this before, just like with matters involving Trump. You know, I've had
I think
people,
now even more about women's issues and how a
yeah,
guy like if you treat a woman or if you call them out your name, like, oh, that's inappropriate. I'm like, do
yeah,
you know we're here? It's a comedy show. This isn't my life. This is a
Ye-
shtick. And even if it is
yeah,
my life, it's my life, and I can talk about it if I want to.
yeah. I'm always that whole thing about when people say that. I don't think it's an not an excuse or a justification. I don't know if that's an acceptable, and I do comedy. I don't want nah, I don't want to sound like a fascist, but I don't know if that's an
But I'm about
acceptable.
to sound like a fashion.
Yeah, but I'm saying I don't know if that's an acceptable justification for somebody not to have an issue with something you said at a comedy club to say, well, we had a comedy club, but what's that mean? I mean, if you say something I don't agree with, okay, the protocol is you said something I don't agree with. Okay, I can laugh or not laugh, but not to stand up and have active back and
Yeah.
forth. But that's the protocol to me, wherever you're at, whatever the deal is, but not so much because, oh, we at a comedy club, so if I can't talk about hating Jews here, where can I talk about it? You know what I mean? That has nothing to do. One has nothing to do with the other to me. You know what I mean? So,
Hmm.
but you have issue with why you have the right to have an issue with what I'm saying. It's just the time, the setting at which you need to take issue with what I have said. Maybe
Mm.
after the show. Do you know what I mean? So not so much during the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the Nazi cookout. I mean, I can't believe that cat was doing, you know. But I mean, not that, that's not me. Or this brother that just got canceled in England. Did you see that there was oh, he's a rapper, English rapper, Bob Villain.
Okay.
And he was on stage saying um he was pro Palestine,
Okay.
and he was doing some festival. They canceled they ended his promotion. I mean, they
Oh
ended it.
wow,
Yeah,
really?
the rest of his performances were canceled. His agency dropped him. Yeah.
This was before Israel blew up Palestine?
This was a few days ago.
Huh?
Bob Villain was on stage like 3 or 4 days ago, 5 days ago, saying, he was saying, fuck the IDL, was it Israel Defense Force?
Okay.
Yeah, and he was just pro-Palestine, and there was people with Palestinian flags and all, just pro-Palestine. I'm against genocide, basically.
Okay.
And because of that, they canceled the rest of his performances. Like I said, I think he lost bookings. His agency dropped him.
Well, I
So
mean, who owns the agency? I mean, who ran the show? I mean,
I don't know.
you got to know your audience
Right. But
and
are you
also know who your boss is,
yeah, but are you inferring that Jews were running the show that he was on?
I'm inferring that whoever was running the show did not want to get involved in any political shenanigans, that they wanted to keep it clean and
Yeah.
not be seen as on one side or the other. And that's one of the things that is really kind of rearing, I think, its ugly head, being like, hey, I just want to be Switzerland. I don't want to take a side. But at a
Yeah.
certain point,
Yeah. That
you really have to.
the
So
days of yeah.
he he should have been mindful of, who was hiring him and whether they wanted to be drug into that political conversation. There's a lot of things to talk about as a comedian.
But but with this cat,
But is he Palestinian?
no.
Is he white?
I
Is
think
he Jewish?
I don't know what he is, Tammy. I think he's just a brother from England. I don't know what his
Well, see, that's
ethnic
my
background is.
point,
But I'm
right?
saying, but
Because there's a conversation about DJ Khaled right now.
well, okay, hold on. But I'm just saying, this cat is known. He is a political act. He's like I mean,
Oh, well, then they should have known.
that's what I'm saying. It wasn't like he just came out of like they thought he was just gonna be playing the spoons.
So
and then
he's
he started,
like Kamal, like race is his thing, politics is this guy's thing.
Yeah.
Oh, well then, yeah, she should sue them.
Bob Villain, that's his name. Bob Villain. VYLAN.
He should sue them because they know who he was,
right?
And he was doing his shtick.
Yeah, he was
and
up there.
He should get a lawyer and sue them because that's crap.
Yeah. So, but what about DJ Khaled?
That he has been brought up by Dave Chappelle. Well, Dave Chappelle put a spotlight on it recently, but there have been a lot of people over the course of what's going on in Palestine that, you are one of the most well-known Palestinians and you have said nothing at all.
DJ Khaled?
DJ Khaled.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I really... I don't think you could bully somebody into, standing up for something that you think they should stand up for.
So Dave Chappelle was saying that he should be making a stance for the cause of the Palestinian people. That Dave Chappelle was saying DJ Khaled should be making a public stance or statement.
I mean, I don't know if he said that he should be making a public stance. What did he say, Ro?
His quote was, "As a Palestinian, how would you be so quiet right now? How would you be so quiet right now? And why are you so fat? People are starving. He's the only fat Palestinian on earth right now."
Oh boy.
That's a quote from Dave Chappelle.
Oh boy. Okay. Hey man. Well.
Allegedly.
That's hilarious.
That is.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I got
that is.
idea. Why don't you take an ideological stance and also?
And by the way,
right, let me slip that in.
Jenny Craig.
Get in the gym, nigga. Man.
Yeah, but I mean,
but like you just said though, like you said, people being or Switzerland. I think the days of people being Switzerland, even Switzerland being Switzerland, have come to, are about over.
Yeah, I mean, but then it gets to the point to where, are you Switzerland? And at this point, are you Switzerland or you just don't care?
Well,
so and stand on it, right? Like that don't have nothing to do with me.
Mm-hmm.
That don't have nothing to do with me. Mm-hmm. Just because I was born there doesn't mean that plight affects me, has anything to do with me. If you've plucked every one of your family members out of there and brought them here because of your wealth, maybe it doesn't matter to you.
Like here, where is here that you're referring to?
America.
Uh-huh.
So maybe because he's so rich, he plucked all of his family members, all of his lineage out of there and brought them here. So maybe he doesn't care. So maybe his cousin Joe.
Because they're all the way out.
Is that one of his raps?
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up.
Okay, see, I don't know.
Nothing can stop me. I'm shutting the fuck up.
The only thing I know about DJ Khaled is, and another one, is that, did I say it right, Ro? Okay. I have to ask the millennials in the room.
Yes, okay.
And I'm hip. Yeah. I speak jive.
I like that. I like that top.
Thank you.
It's all psychedelic.
Yeah, I figured we would do doing some mushrooms later. Be cool.
So, yeah, we got to get that mushroom demographic.
Where's our theme song? Waka 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 waka.
Yeah.
Pew, 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 pew. Don't be flashing gang signs. Oh, Jesus. No.
I was shooting a gun.
Really, that shows you how you know nothing about shooting guns.
Shite-town.
I like shooting guns. We go on Valentine's Day, my husband and I.
What?
To the range.
Oh,
to the
for
range
real?
on Valentine's Day. Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, like you were saying, because your dad being a cop, you grew up around guns.
Well, I grew up around guns when I was little in Mississippi. So my grandfather
Oh
would go
yeah.
hunting, and so I would go hunting. I have memories of going hunting with my
What would y'all
grandfather.
hunt for? Klansmen? Clan
No,
folk?
no, deer, I guess. I do remember eating deer.
Yeah.
And then my father's police officer, so being around guns. And then, we bought a gun maybe, gosh, maybe 15 years ago.
You and your husband?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And so I'm about to get one for me.
Oh, your own personal gun?
Mm-hmm.
What do you
I
what
got my Floyd card.
you know what? My father, my late father, um, he used to a Marine. His thing was everybody should have a gun.
Absolutely, they
Get a
should.
gun. You got you a gun. You get your gun, and you should get a gun. Get a gun. He was like Johnny Applegun. You get your gun. You get
That
you a
was his
gun.
PSA.
Yeah, get your gun. So I finally capitulated and went and applied for my Floyd card. Because they do the background check on you,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Oh, they didn't give you one, huh?
Well, Tammy, I was so scared. They sent me a letter after they did the background check. I never opened it because I was scared I flunked the test
Are you crazy?
and the mental.
Oh
I was
my-
scared I was gonna open the letter and gonna say, you need to come in. We need to talk to you. So I got the gun permit, but I never got the gun. So I probably have to reapply. It's been so long. That was like, man, about 15, long ago than that.
Really?
Yeah, I applied, filled out the permit, the application, and to get the gun permit, they sent back the letter. I never opened it.
That's wild.
Yeah. Now what's your gun of choice?
I don't really have a gun of choice. I like the automatic,
They say
rather than a
automatic's jammed.
revolver. How often are you going to use it?
Well,
Mine
knowing
is
you, Tammy.
never.
Oh,
Mine is never. So we have a Glot, I think it's called 45,
a
and
Glock.
Glot.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a 45 automatic, and it has 13 in the clip,
One in
and
the chamber.
yeah, you have to put one in the chamber. And so we go to the shooting range, and
Do you bring it to shows? Who want to hear an encore? We all do. We all do.
that's a great idea. I should do that. But the one that I
think I
want, I
wanna
just want
sing one
something a little
more.
lighter, maybe a 32.
Okay.
I just want something a little lighter.
A revolver?
No, I definitely want the automatic, but you got to be the way that you hold it. When it recoils, it goes over, because most people are like, "Oh, I want a little 22," but your hand being bigger than the gun, when it recoils, it scrapes over. It'll
Oh,
scrape over that hot. It'll scrape over the
yeah.
top of your hand. Because I tried a 22 before, so
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking maybe a 32 would be about right.
Yeah.
So I think on Valentine's Day we're gonna go and see if I can get me one.
All right. The family that guns together.
Stays together.
I guess they better.
We gotta take the kids
Yeah.
and get a shotgun.
A shotgun. That's what they say. If you're not really a marksman or take a lot of practice for like just home protection, get a
Mhm.
shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's gonna scatter and
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And the blast itself sometimes will just be enough to intimidate folk if you haven't hit them. I'm getting the F out of here.
Mm-hmm. Buckshot.
Buckshot. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. But they something I was gonna tell you. What else was I gonna tell you about? The little about guns that I know. No, yeah, but they say revolvers don't jam like automatics do.
Revolvers are kind of old and antiquated.
I don't think so.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
me and
I
my
don't know
father would
enough
go out to the
about guns to. I know that one time we were at the range,
now where do you
and
go? I mean,
it's this place out on 127th Street. I can't remember the name of
you
it.
go to Eagle
That's it.
in Orland Park.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And some of my husband's friends were there, and they have these private rooms. And this
Where they can
guy,
just shoot at each other.
not you,
Come on
this
in the
mother-
private room, baby. I just got to talk to you about something.
not the strip club private room. Anyway, I had these private rooms where you can go.
Mm.
And this brother had these big, I'll be back satchels, like the Terminator.
Mhm.
These great big satchels, and he unzipped it and he pulled this thing out like, and I was like, what is that? And he was like, "You want to shoot it?" And I was like, "Sure." And it was like, and then he
Like a
pulled out
machine
another
gun?
thing. Man, listen,
What the F?
listen. You can fool around if you want to. What they say, F around and find out.
Yeah, yeah.
These folks ain't playing with you. They've got equipment.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is it called? What are big guns called, Ro? I don't know.
What do you mean?
Big guns, like they've got
Rifles, bazookas,
no, but I mean, there's something you call all of them.
AK-47s,
They've got
M15s, M16s.
no, not to particular
Artillery.
gun. Artillery.
Yeah.
Thank you, my little
Yeah.
thesaurus.
You know?
They've got artillery out
Yeah,
here.
heavy
so-
heavy artillery.
Heavy artillery.
You know what's funny? Now I have a joke about this. Like, you know, it's getting serious because they're starting to form gun clubs, and they got black gun clubs now, and they got one called the National African American Gun Association, which is called NAGA.
It's not.
For real. Well, I say, as in, you don't want to be the only NAGA without a gun when the race war jumps off, you know. But it's well, I've been out there.
I love our people. I
Yeah.
just love us. I love us so much.